UiPath, the AI and automation platform, reported quarterly financial results after the stock market closed on December 5th, 2024. In this video, I'm going to review those latest figures and elaborate on what they mean for UiPath stock investors. I'm also going to update my buy recommendation for UiPath stock. Coming into this update, I had UiPath rated as one of my top 25 stocks to buy. You're going to want to tune in to see if I'm changing that recommendation or keeping it where it was. So let's jump into the results first.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
UiPath reported a 9% increase in revenue to $355 million in the latest quarter. The company's founder and CEO saying that we have conviction that UiPath provides a differentiated approach to agentic automation that will expand our market opportunity, enabling customers to automate more complex and variable workflows to deliver enterprise-wide AI transformation. So two things I want to talk about here. First is the enterprise demand for AI and automation is increasing exponentially. Businesses are proactively looking for ways to incorporate artificial intelligence and automation in their operations to improve performance, not just on cost, but also on accuracy. There's many tasks that artificial intelligence can do better than humans. For instance, customer service, because the AI can incorporate more of the company's proprietary data to help customers when they have questions. When a customer has a question for a human, that human might not be well trained enough to know everything about the corporation to answer the customer's question. So when the customer asks the human a question, the human might be looking on the company's website or looking at tutorials, reading through things, trying to solve the problem that the customer is having. And that takes a longer time, which is not good for either the customer or the company. So that's just one use case where AI and automation can perform better than people can. And at the same time, it's probably going to be at a much lower cost. So enterprises are leaning into this category. Secondly, the CEO and founder recently took back the job of CEO. So this was an abrupt change of leadership where the founder stepped back in as CEO just about 6 months ago. And so it's the CEO is implementing the policies that he feels were the correct ones moving forward with the company. And it's good to see progress working well for UiPath so far. Dollar-based net retention came in at 113%. Now, this number measures how much a customer spends with you in their second year of service. Think of it like if customers like what you're offering them, they'll spend more money with you. And a number over 100% means they spent more with you in the second year than they did in the first year. In this case, customers spent 13% more in the second year than in the first year. This is evidence that customers of UiPath are finding good value in what they're paying for. Otherwise, they wouldn't increase their spending with UiPath. So I always look to this number as evidence of the customer value proposition, which if you read my book, you know it's one of my 6 steps in my investing framework. If a business doesn't offer customers good value, that business is probably not going to be around for very long. But at the same time, you've got to look at the unit economics. You've got to look at profitability, because a business can offer great value, but if they don't charge a price that's high enough to generate unit economics that are sustainable, that business won't be around for very long. With UiPath, they are sustainable. They're on a sustainable path. So non-GAAP operating income came in at $50 million and cash flow from operations came in at $28 million. Cash flow from operations is the more important number for sustainability of a business. You can be negative profitability, but so long as you're positive cash flow, that business can sustain itself. You don't need to go back to investors and ask for more money. You're not at risk of going out of business so long as you're generating sufficient free cash flow, or your free cash flow is positive. So this quarter was better than the management team was expecting. The results in the third quarter were better than expectations. And in 2026, they believe that their focus, along with the investments they're making in product innovation, will stabilize new contracts while accelerating adjusted free cash flow growth. That's great to hear, accelerating. So not only do they expect free cash flow to increase, the rate of increase is also expected to increase. The second derivative is expected to increase, and that's always great to hear. For the fourth quarter, more specifically, the company is forecasting revenue of about $425 million at the midpoint, with non-GAAP operating income of $100 million. So the non-GAAP operating income number would be double what they reported in the third quarter, and the revenue number would be roughly $70 million more than they reported in the third quarter. So excellent increases both on the top and bottom line expected for UiPath in the fourth quarter. And then for next year, they're forecasting an accelerating rate of improvement in cash flow. Looking at product highlights, UiPath is innovating the customer automation journey with agentic automation. This is a progressive leap from robotic process automation that combines AI agents, robots, people, and models to deliver transformation enterprise-wide for end-to-end processes. This is what businesses are looking for. If you're a business, for instance, if you're an insurance company and you have tasks that are happening repetitively, for instance, claims for incidents, and your customers are calling in and reporting the details of those claims, or if they're going online and inputting those details of those claims, you can automate those processes. Those are repetitive processes that you can automate with AI and automation to improve the process, again, for both sides, not just for the business, but for the customer, and thereby offering a win-win solution. And there are so many businesses with so many of these repeated processes that can be automated and made more convenient for customers. And this is just the beginning of this business worldwide. And, yesterday I did a video that's being published today, probably as I'm recording this, about how the productivity in the US economy is improving significantly. And one of the reasons for that is AI is improving business productivity. So much waste is getting taken out of the system. Right? I talked about how cash flow from operations is important. And in the 9 months ending October 31st, 2024, UiPath's cash flow from operations increased to $174.5 million, up from $153.5 million in the same time last year. An excellent improvement, especially when you consider there was an abrupt change in leadership, and to have your cash flow from operations still increase amid these difficulties. I'm not a fan of changes in leadership. Companies that have changes in leadership, especially abrupt changes in leadership, I give them minus points. It makes it less attractive for investment when there's big changes or big restructurings happening. So despite those minuses, I still had UiPath rated so highly because everything else about the business had been working so well and had been so positive that even with that negative at the top, I had still rated it highly. So after this quarterly update, UiPath is now trading at a forward price to earnings of 33, which is a little bit higher than a couple of months ago. The stock price has had a nice tailwind over the last couple of months, rising to about $14.60, up from around $10.50 a few months ago at the bottom. And this big dip here was because of that abrupt change in leadership. And then when new leadership took over, they downgraded the profit forecast and revenue forecast for the year. So there was a lot of disruption with UiPath stock to start the year, but it looks like it's stabilizing and recovering. So to answer my question, what do I think about UiPath? Is it still a top 25 stock to buy? The answer is yes, and you can see here I updated it on my spreadsheet December 6th, reiterating that I still like this stock as a top 25 stock. Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.